You're all absolutely insane. I want to make sure that you understand that going into this. The amount of comments saying I need to listen to specifically this one is frankly ridiculous. There was also plenty of other comments saying I need to get to the other song that the prior composer also made, but I figured with how many there were specifically for Dope Blink, I should do this one first. So that's what we're doing today. Obviously, I'm aware of who's involved. You did not let me sleep without making sure I knew that. And even though I am listening to this, I am not going to be giving it any sort of favoring or prejudice compared to the other ones at all. It's going to be its own reaction with its own opinions, and I will be giving those whether or not I like the song. So without further ado, let's go. Okay, good start. Really good intro. Okay, that fill was a little bit sloppy. Won't lie.
Breaking the rules, guess I'll switch my pace. Something to life you just can't replace. Oh no, you can't replace. No.
I mean, we knew we weren't going to be doing poor with the vocals at very least. And the guitar sounds pretty good too. It's hitting the mark. It is definitely hitting that sound. That classic Sonic tone. I will say I think the solo is a little bit sad, at least compared to Crush 40 stuff. But it's not like they're trying to be Crush 40. In my mind, bring your words that won't hold back. You can't twist the way I feel. I keep moving. Again, like, it's one of those songs where they're doing pretty well to capture that lightning in a bottle. You can tell this is somebody who's listened to a lot of Crush 40 stuff. As have I. But also, it's not trying to be Crush 40 either. It's a good homage. Even with the singer obviously being involved. Back from showing you what I'm made of. I live to see the day, escape from this place. That's who I am, the master of defiance. See, that fill was better.
I've got your limit right here.
Nice. I think it's interesting what they're doing with the drums, but I'll get into that afterwards. Okay. That was not a shabby homage at all. They did a very good job overall. All right, so this song kind of got me feeling a certain type of way, and there's reasons for that. One is that I'm almost 30. I've had Sonic in my life basically my whole life, and while I wasn't ever like super into Sonic, I was more of a Mario and like a Zelda kid, I suppose. It still had enough of a stranglehold on a certain portion of my childhood that I am very aware. Like, I played Sonic.exe when that shit was brand new, and it was as ass then as it is now, and it's still fun to try and play it once in a while. But it's like, that's the vibe, right? Like Sonic and the Black Knight, Secret Rings, these are all games that I enjoyed when they were like first showing up, and I had that experience. And of course I've played the originals, and basically, like I said, Sonic's been a part of my entire life. But like I said, not being like a super fan of the series, I'm able to look at it a little bit more objectively than I think a lot of people are, who end up getting a little bit lost in that nostalgia, or purely just the fact that they're still obsessed with Sonic. And yeah, that can affect your opinions on things. And that's not to say like a lead in going, oh, this song sucks, because it is not bad at all. They did a really fucking good job at making this song what it is. And what that is what I was kind of hoping that they did for the Through Patches of Violet song for Forsaken, is that I wish that that song did what this song did, in which that this one is a true homage. You can tell that there's a little bit of that Crush 40 inspiration and DNA in there, without just regurgitating the exact same thing that they would always put out, especially in the later 2000s, early 2010s. This has that sound to it, but it also is identifiably still individually this composer, and it was not supposed to be exactly a Crush 40 copycat. And I respect the fuck out of that, because that's how you do an homage. You take a little bit of what you love about that thing you're trying to pay homage to, and you make it your own. That's something that so many people tend to get wrong when they're doing fan songs, and that always bugs me, because it's like, you're allowed to make whatever the fuck you want, and that is perfectly fine. But the way to do it, in my opinion, is this: be able to have some of that DNA shine through while still making it your thing, and just identifiably you. Like, I can tell by the way that the song is structured, the exact patterns of like chorus, verse, chorus, you know, like that exact structure of the song, the chords chosen, the way that they're strumming the fucking guitar. You can tell that this song is supposed to be inspired by things like Crush 40 and groups like that. And of course, Johnny being involved is all the better for that. But it's those little differences that make me go, okay, yeah, this isn't just trying to be Crush 40. Like, for example, the drum thing I was kind of alluding to during the reaction. That first fill was a little bit weird, and I don't think it necessarily landed quite right, in my opinion. Drummer opinion there. I think that should have been a little bit cleaner. Maybe a little bit more directly pop punk. I think they were trying to lean a little bit more like metal with like flamming, which they did later in the song. There was a little bit more of like a separated flammy sort of approach to the fill later. For those who don't know what a flam is, it's basically like when you hit a drum, one hand goes down before the other one, just slightly. It creates a little bit of like a ripple. That's a flam. And this one had a few of those that were intentional, and the first one felt like they tried to do that, but it just didn't vibe with like starting in, you know, like it should have been a little bit cleaner on the jump, and then you can add those more like fun, a little bit more experimental variants of the fills, and doing that kind of fills out the space a little bit more. And I do like how they approached it in that one. The first one just didn't quite do it for me, but that's again kind of a flavor thing. You're gonna either like it or not, and for me, I think it was just slightly off the mark. I liked the concept of the fill, what they were trying to do for it, but I do think it was honestly trying a little too hard right there at that one spot. Everything else in there was pretty good, and again, the structure of the song, you can tell what it's supposed to be, what they're trying to get out of it, and they pulled that off, even down to the guitar tone. It wasn't as punky as Crush 40 ends up being, because that's kind of their vibe, right? It's a little bit more pop punk. This had a little bit more of a metal DNA in it, and you could tell by how heavy and distorted the chugs on the guitar were. Like, they were really ripping into that distortion, and that could easily be just their choices of distortion and production. They wanted it to be a little bit more gritty, and that works, especially for the tone of what they're trying to cover here for the subject matter. It just makes sense. The lyrics were a little bit elementary, if I may be honest, but it's also, you know, kind of that Crust 40 vibe, especially their like mid 2000s, early 2010s stuff. They were really going for like kind of, let's call them surface level, because that's really what they were, writing lyrics for a video game about a blue hedgehog that runs fast. You do not have to bring your A game to that, right? So there was a little bit of that DNA even back then, and that's why even though these lyrics seem a little bit stiff in parts, it doesn't necessarily mean they're bad, and if anything, that adds to the experience and that DNA of that homage and like how the energy of the song is. It's nailing that aesthetic, and even if it is a little bit subpar in the overall idea of lyricism, it still does what it's trying to do very well, and it's easy to forgive that. I also did love that little cheeky bit where they had the voice actor come in and say the line, like, ooh, I love those moments in any song. Those are one of those like little crowd pleaser things that I just love. Even if I don't know what's going on in the story, like I've never played Outcome Memories, I never will, but at the same time, I'm aware that that's one of those moments that gets everyone to go, ooh, you know, so I can like live vicariously through the other players by experiencing that and kind of putting myself into that headspace. And again, having Johnny involved in general was really fucking cool. But it's like, I feel like so many people are hyped about that. And I've had this issue with, well, not really an issue, but this experience with my own channel where I'll talk to somebody who is insanely popular, way above my own level. And like everyone knows them. They're like community famous. And I'll do an interview with somebody and they'll be like, whoa, you got that person? Oh, like it just happened with my interview with Camellia. It happened with Adam Gubman when I talked to him. But at the end of the day, these are just people, and they are willing, if they can, most of the time, to help you out if you're honest and true about it. If you just want somebody to join you on a project and you have something that you can show them as like, here's a provable existence of my devotion to this project, like my YouTube channel, and wanting to do interviews with people, then they'll probably be like, hell yeah, why not? You know, let's find the time to do so. As long as you're respectful and you can kind of get a mutual benefit out of it, I don't think anyone would really say no outright unless they just have an ego problem. Like most people want to help each other out. That's the human condition. A lot of us just want to be helpful and useful to each other. So when you have that mutual agreement, for this case, Johnny being on this song is kind of like another way for him to be like, I respect the community. I understand how big and important this project is. So here you go. Let me throw you a bone and be a part of this project. And I'm sure he had a blast doing it too. But yeah, I think that's about all I was going to say on this one. Overall, really good song. I don't think I have any other gripes about it. No other things to truly praise about it. It's just a good song at the end of the day. So thank you all so very much for requesting this one and making me get to it. Seriously, the amount of people who asked for this one was ridiculous. I couldn't even narrow them down. I tried to count them. I gave up after legitimately like 400 comments. So great song. I'll probably get to that other one too, but there's also a bunch of other Roblox stuff I need to get to as well. But if you have something specific you want me to get to, drop it in the comments below and I will do my best as always to get to those. But if you don't want to do any of that, maybe just want to follow me and support me for more stuff coming in the future, you know how to do all that. And I will see all of you in the next video. Goodbye!